Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk and thank you very much for joining me today. This is the card I've been making today. It's a spinner card. Now, I do like making spinner cards and I have to be honest with you, they are some of my most popular tutorials. I've made a few of them using different images over the past 3 years, but up until now the ones that I've made have always spun around the vertical axis. Now, this one today is slightly different in that it spins around the horizontal axis. So if I open it up and let Santa go, as you will see, the other bit of it is a reindeer head. Okay, so stay with me and I'll show you how I put it all together. So here are the things that I'm using to make my card today. The base is garden green and I've cut it at 11.5 by 4, scored and folded at 5 3/4. And for the mat on the front, I've got a piece of the Be Merry DSP, and this is in the annual catalogue. And I've cut this to 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. I've got some scraps for stamping and punching and die cutting. So I've got a little bit of garden green. As you can see, I've already been at that one. Piece of crumb cake and some whisper white. And as you can see, this has got a bit of mess on it from somewhere, but that's okay because I'm going to stamp on the other side. The stamps are from Cookie Cutter Christmas. I've got Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I'm going to be doing some colouring in using the new Stampin' blends. So I've got the Cherry Cobbler. This is the colour lifter. I've got the 2 shades of crumb cake. This is Light Calypso Coral, I believe. Yes, it is. And I've also got some of the ivory. I've got Circles Layering Thinlets, Framelets. The Cookie Cutter Punch, and I've got some clear thread. Now this happens to be clear elastic. It doesn't have to be elastic. You could make use of fishing line, fine sewing thread, anything like that, but elastic is what I happen to have handy, so that's what I'm going to use. I want to cut an aperture that goes through the DSP and through the card base. And it needs to be big enough for my Santa to spin. So I've done a bit of trial and error, and I've cut out some rough paper templates, and that one is going to be about the right size. In fact, the next size down is too small, so I know that this is going to be the perfect size. And I've created a paper template to place it where I want it to go. So now I need to cut it out of my my card and my DSP. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line that up where I want it to be when it's finished. And I've got a bit of low tack tape here, and I'm just going to use that to pin. And I mean, this is almost like if you were dressmaking, this is almost like tacking things into place. Just like that. Just put a bit there. So that is now held where I want it to be. And then this has been cut to be the same size as the card front. So I'm going to tack that down where I want it to be. And I'm going to go over to the big shot and I'm going to run it through and cut out that aperture in the middle. To save some time, I've stamped Santa and the reindeer onto my Whisper White and crumb cake card, and I use crumb cake ink for that, which I didn't mention in my list of supplies, so I'm sorry about that. So I'm going to begin by colouring in Santa. So obviously he's going to be coloured in the Cherry Cobbler. I'm going to start by colouring his face in ivory. Now you can't see very much of his face between his hat. also going to take the light crumb cake and I'm just going to go around the outline. So for the reindeer's nose, I've got a little bit of cherry cobbler, which again I didn't mention at the start of the video, and I've got one of the Stampin' Spots, which is in real red, and I'm going to just stamp that just in that corner of the card there, and I'm going to cut that out, and that'll be his shiny red nose. So here's my little Santa and my reindeer. Now I will not lie to you, punching that one out with the sticker paper on the back was a struggle, so you might want to think twice about doing that and just glue the two pieces together. But what I am going to do now is I've got a piece of my elastic cord, which I've cut very generously, made sure it's quite a bit bigger than my card front so that I've got room to manoeuvre, and I'm going to take the backing off my adhesive sheet. So you might want to use a piece of double-sided tape across the two arms there, and then use something like fast fuse or liquid adhesive for the rest of it. See, it doesn't want to come off. This does not want to come off. There we go. Okay. Because I thought I was being clever. Okay. I thought I was being, yeah, we can do this because we'll have an edge-to-edge adhesive and it'll all stick together beautifully. But I would definitely think twice about it. Okay, so I'm just sticking that down across my reindeer, and I am going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive on to my Santa for two reasons. One is that it will help make it stronger, and also it will give it a little bit of maneuverability. It will allow me to just move my shapes around if I haven't got them lined up exactly. Yeah. So next I'm going to line him up into my aperture and get him as centered as I can because I want to make sure that he can spin. So I'm just going to hold him down temporarily. With a little bit of tear and tape. So okay, I'm not pressing too hard on the tape, because if I need to move it or need to move Santa, then I want to be able to pull it back up again. Okay, so I'm just going to see if that will spin. You see he's foot heavy. After a little bit of experimenting with the position, I'm now happy that I've got my my figure in the right place and that the figure will spin in my card, because if it doesn't, it's not much use to me. Alright, so I'm going to put that with Santa upwards, because that's the way I want to look at it. And I'm now going to put the front of the card on, or the mat of the card. So I'm going to make sure I've got plenty of adhesive around the aperture, particularly towards the sides, because that is what is going to hold my elastic down. And yeah, take the backing off the tear and tape as well, because this will all help. Okay, so one and the other one. Come on, that's one. And I'm going to pop this on while trying to not get any adhesive on Santa. Now, because I measured this up when I cut it, it will fit exactly where I want it to, around those apertures. Okay, just move that slightly. Oh, hello Rudolph. And last finishing touch, I will glue this frame, which I cut with some from the garden green while I was over at the Big Shot, with the circle framelets and the scallop circle framelets, and there we go, nearly done. I'm nearly finished. I've stamped a greeting using Tuxedo Black Mento onto my Whisper White, and I could leave it at that, but I thought that this bit, it looks a bit bare, so I've taken the piece of paper that I cut out of the aperture, and if I turn it over on that side, it's got these lovely little mittens, and I think that goes very well with the message, which is warm, heartfelt greetings for a very Merry Christmas. So what I've done, I've taken a pencil and I've just traced some registration marks through that aperture, and I'm going to put some adhesive onto the back of my circle of paper, and I'm going to put it the way up I want it to go, which is kind of that way, and that should just finish the card off. So there it is, all finished, and if I just wind this up a few times, okay, I think that's enough. And then if I let it go, pop it into the envelope like that. When the person I'm sending it to opens it and opens the card to say, oh, I wonder who that's from, Santa and the reindeer change places. So I do hope that you've enjoyed this video today. Thank you for staying with me to the very end. Why don't you click that like button or subscribe to my channel? I'd be thrilled to bits if you did. But for now, I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.